Tintin XL 92.5 FM.
And we welcome you in. Thanks for being part of our little confab today. Glad you're along for the ride, along with Hays Carlyon and JJ LaSelva. I'm Frank Frangie, and I'm at my happy place. This is a happy place. We are live at the Walk-Off Charities High School Baseball Classic. We only came out here one day this week. We've got a lot going on at the radio station, but we needed to come out one day. And if you're watching us on the stream, you see a baseball game going on right behind us. Thanks to our friend Mia O'Brien. Mia was great in helping us get this all set up, and she's awesome, and we appreciate that.
Got a double right here for Beachside.
Right out of the gate, Beachside and Paxson. Beachside is the visitors, and they start off with a double. I got to turn around a little bit so I can see this stuff. I got to see some of this baseball, but man, it's great being out here. I get proud. We got a lot of sports to talk about today. Brett Hastings stops by to talk about a very interesting sports and courts. Lee Smith comes by. We're going to have Lee every week now. We'll adjust the days a little bit because we have some remotes, and but he's going to be here every week now until I think probably the end of the British Open, right?
That's great.
Now until the British Open, every week if we can drag Lee out, we're certainly going to try to. But this is our happy place, certainly my happy place. I love coming out here, and the baseball is fantastic. And 16 baseball teams out here at the Bragan Baseball Complex at Fort Family Park. It's the home of Walk-Off Charities. You probably know that now. And we upgrade the park every year, and you haven't seen kind of some of the changes, have you? But it's we're really proud of this.
Yeah.
You have. What am I saying? You and I came out here the other day, but
yeah, I mean,
it
it looks fantastic, and again, it's in a great location. So if you're looking to watch some good high school baseball, come on out.
Yeah, we really hope you will. And again, 16 teams. The way it works is the preseason, according to FHSA rules, the preseason you can play 2 games. So these are technically preseason games. So you can only play 2. So the way we do our tournament is we have 4 different brackets. 4 different brackets with 4 teams in it. It's 4 brackets of 4 teams. If you win the first day, the 2 winners play for the championship of that bracket on Saturday. The 2 teams that don't win play in the losers bracket either Thursday or Friday. So that way it's really a tournament, but there's 4 winners.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
great.
And that allows teams to play their 2 games, and so the championship round is on Saturday. The 4 champions play at 10, 1, 4, and 7 on Saturday. And again, we're thrilled to be out here. We're thrilled to have people out here. We've had great crowds every night coming to watch high school baseball kick, and I love baseball. So it's a happy place for us, and it's great to be out here watching a little baseball. And again, we're glad we're able to bring out one radio show out here. All right, all kind of fun stuff to get to today. The Jags continue their search for offensive coordinator and general manager positions, among others, but those are the ones that are the sexy ones. And so when we know more about that, we'll certainly let you know. Haven't seen a whole lot more about that or heard a whole lot more other than what's been out there, but we'll certainly tell you when we do. Big win for the Gator basketball team. I thought they gutted that out last night. Vanderbilt's pretty darn good now. I mean, Vanderbilt, this is a team that has beaten Tennessee and Kentucky in recent weeks, is ranked in the top 25, is probably headed to the tournament, as of today at least they are. They came in, I mean, remember, if they'd have won last night, both teams would be 5-4 in the league. So they would have had the same record. You realize that? They'd had the same record as Florida had they won last night. So no, they're a good team. And I thought that was a good win, Hayes. I thought they didn't have Clayton. Martin got banged up somehow in the first half and missed much of the half.
Yeah.
Chinyelu, who's fading a little bit, but isn't a great offensive player anyway, was in foul trouble the whole game and no factor. So you're really down for parts of the game, 3 starters, and your best player among those starters, you're down for the whole game. And I thought they reached down and found something. I thought Aberdeen was good. Gosh, it was good to see Urban Clavzar hit those 2 big threes. Appreciate your text last night telling me you can't stop Urban. You can only hope to contain him. That was a magnificent mid-game text. I thank you for that.
Sure thing.
But
and
I
even
thought
Sam Alexis hit a 3.
And I thought he played really well.
He did.
I thought he played. So that was a good win. That was one of those ones. No one's going to talk about that one. They're going to talk about beating Tennessee by 30. They're going to talk about other wins. No one's going to talk about that one. But when you get to the tournament and you're a 2 seed or whatever they wind up being, remember this one because it could have gotten ugly. Because I agree with you. I don't think they're going to win Saturday. And then all of a sudden you look up and you haven't won Saturday and you got to go to Mississippi State. You needed to make sure, stop the bleeding before the bleeding really started. And I thought that's what that game did last night.
Yeah, without a doubt. I mean, I thought it was really interesting. We heard some of Todd Golden's comments post-game in Max's update, but he went on later in his press conference to say, I'm as proud of this win as I am of any of the others that we've had this season. really, that speaks volumes of what they were able to get accomplished last night, not having Walter Clayton. And it felt like everybody contributed a little bit to it. You mentioned Urban Klavzar, who'd barely played in SEC competition. Hits 2 threes at a time where the game was very much in doubt. The final score was misleading because the first basically 30 minutes of the game, I thought Vanderbilt was going to win the game.
Yeah.
But Urban Klavzar hits those big threes, puts Florida up 9 with 8 minutes left. And, from that point on, it was just a matter of execution, and Florida shot, an outstanding percentage in the second half. They were incredible. They shot 64.3%, but 57.4% for the game, 20 assists to 10 turnovers. Just beautiful basketball in a lot of ways. And the other thing, too, is you're at the time of season now where you're chasing the 1 seed. Florida probably won't get there. But if you're 5th in the net, you're chasing a 1 seed. And the best thing that Florida has on its resume right now is they've avoided the bad loss. Their 3 losses, one's to Kentucky on the road. Kentucky's 24th in the net. One's to Missouri. They're 19th in the net. And the Vols are 4th. So right now, Florida doesn't have a bad loss. All 3 of their losses are quad 1 games, and really high-level quad 1 games. And so if you'd lost to Vanderbilt, not to say it's a quote bad loss, but it would have been by far their worst loss. Vandy's 44th in the net. So that's the kind of thing you start thinking about, the bad loss. That's something the committee is going to really hone in on is, did you have a loss that really came out of nowhere in that quad 2, quad 3 group? And right now, Florida's resume is incredibly clean when it comes to that.
Yeah, I'll tell you a couple thoughts, too, about it. By the way, the dang odds makers are so good. They had it at essentially 12, and the Gators won by 11.
Yeah.
I mean, it's amazing how good – because you and I thought that line, they might have been off the mark.
Yeah.
They weren't off the mark.
No.
They were right on it. So it's amazing how good they are. It really is. I thought, obviously, Aberdeen, when they needed him, played really well. The good of that game is you found a little something in Klavzar who can help you down the stretch. That doesn't mean he's going to be a mainstay, but look, they don't have a lot of offense. And he's a guy that can, if he can find, and you always hear he makes everything in practice.
Yeah.
He just
and
hasn't.
Vandy must have known that because early on
they defended it.
They gave him no space.
Right. But when he got a couple looks, those 2 threes were big, as you said. But you know what else? In my opinion, Alex Condon played his best game as a Gator in 2 years. He always plays hard. He's a really good inside player in terms of defending and rebounding and altering shots and diving on the floor. But he's not a great offensive player. I thought he missed some free throws early, but I thought he played his best game. He had 19 points, 9 rebounds, and I know he's had more rebounds than that, but 19 and 9. He had 4 assists. He blocked 2 shots. He only had 1 foul the entire game. He was 7 of 11 from the field. He missed a few free throws and some threes. But I thought he was as active, as determined, as bowed up. I thought Alex Condon played in 2 years. And he's been good. He's had a lot of good games. This is not a surprise. But I thought he played his best game as a Gator.
Yeah, that's a great point. He also drew 6 fouls.
Right.
Which was big late in the game because Vandy lost 2 of their guys. One guy with like 7 minutes left who tried to go and shake Todd Golden's hand.
That was really weird.
Which was very awkward. But certainly Condon drawing those 6 fouls was incredibly important because Vandy's not very big up front anyway, and then they lost a couple key components to their front court, and I think that's a big reason why they faded, and Florida was able to win by a comfortable margin in a game that looked like it was going to come down to the final possession. So fantastic, and now you go into Saturday against number 1 Auburn, total house money game.
Yeah, that's right.
I mean, total house money game. You're not going to get penalized if you lose it at all. Metrically, it may even help them because you're playing the number 1 team on the road. So from a strength of schedule standpoint, it's going to really increase that. But I'll be curious to see what he does with Walter Clayton. I said yesterday if he didn't play against Vandy, I don't think I'd play him against Auburn.
Right.
But now that you've won the game against Vandy, and it's an opportunity to beat the number 1 team in the country, if he is – and they said he was close.
He almost played. I was just going to say, a tournament game he would have played last night.
Yeah, I think with Wednesday, Thursday, Friday to rest.
Right.
Now he has to take a short, plane ride to Auburn. But I would think that, there's a pretty good chance you'll see him Saturday.
Yeah.
If not, it's fine.
Yeah.
If it's close, don't play him. But if he's cleared and he feels good, let it rip.
Yeah, and I will say it is a house money game because no one expects you to go win there.
And you're not going to win the SEC regular season title.
Right.
Auburn is,
they're the best team in the country
by a mile.
Yeah, so they're going to win that. But I agree with you. That's everything you just surmised is why last night's game was so important. All right, some other things we're going to get to later on in the program. The NFLPA really pushing back on the 18 games. Now, you knew that
they
would
always
happen.
do that.
But it almost seemed that had a little oomph to it this time. So we'll see. And maybe that's a negotiating thing.
Yeah.
And
when they see the money,
that's
we'll have 18 games.
And they will see them. Well, or when they lose the negotiation. It's not just seeing the money. Sometimes you acquiesce when you don't want to acquiesce. We'll certainly get to that. Some other NFL talk coming up. We want to look ahead to the Super Bowl. Haven't really previewed it much. Certainly we'll do more of that as the week goes on. But a little bit of that coming up today as we continue on to the program. But we'll take a break. We're live at the Bragan Baseball Complex. Beachside and Paxton playing here in the Walk-Off Charities High School Baseball Classic. We love coming out here. Brett Hastings is going to join us out here at the ballpark, which is very cool for Sports and Courts. An interesting topic that Matt Rule, the Nebraska coach, canceled his spring game because he's worried about tampering. Billy Napier had an interesting response. He said, listen, I got two choices. I can worry about tampering or I can piss off all my fans and not have the game. So it's the devil you do. It's choose your poison, I guess. But what legalities can come out of all this tampering? And because can somebody get sued for the tampering with other players? Something's got to happen because it's rampant. Brett will discuss that. We'll take a break. We're glad you're with us on a Wednesday. It's 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
The Frangie Show from the Harrell and Harrell studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
1010XL's Dan Hicken dominated Folio Weekly's Best of 2024. Best TV sports anchor, Dan Hicken. Best radio sports anchor, Dan Hicken. Best radio sports show starring Dan Hicken. 1010XL, the home of Dan Hicken. Now, the Florida Gator Report on 1010XL, brought to you by San Jose Collision.
The 6th-ranked Gators got back on track Tuesday night with an 86-75 victory over Vanderbilt. Senior guard Will Richard exploded for 21 points and 7 rebounds while going 8 of 11 shooting and played with an extraordinary amount of grit. The Gators head to Auburn on Saturday at 4 o'clock as they get set for a physical matchup with the top-ranked team in the country.
Frank Frangie here for Bono's Pit Barbecue. It's cold outside, and the best way to stay warm this winter is with the new Bono's limited time offer, a signature Bono's barbecue sandwich paired with your choice of savory super chili, starting at just $11.99. Your choice of a pulled pork, smoked turkey, smoked sausage, char-grilled chicken, or beef brisket sandwich, plus a bowl of a hot, delicious soup or chili. You can't beat that deal, so hurry into Bono's. And remember, if you don't see a pit, it ain't legit.
It's another exciting local sports day on the First Coast. Listen for 1010XL National Signing Day updates all day. Brought to you by Baker Glass. No one treats you better on Jacksonville Sports Radio 1010XL.
This is Dr. George Bari inviting you to look online at BariOrthopedics.com for the latest in medical advancements when it comes to getting you back to full joint health. After studying under Dr. James Andrews, I know proper diagnosis is the first key to treatment, and educating the patient is the fastest path to recovery. Whether it's chronic back pain, nagging arthritis, or necessary joint replacement, we're here to serve you in the best possible way. We are Bari Orthopedics and online at BariOrthopedics.com.
Find out more at BariOrthopedics.com. That's BAHRI Orthopedics.com.
Dave Benyon with Zero Res. As the temps outside are warming up, so is Zero Res. Right now, it's the hottest price of the year. 3 rooms of carpet cleaned for only $147, and the 4th room is free. That's right, the 4th room is on me. Google Zero Res and see what people are saying. Zero Res has over 6,000 5-star reviews. Remember, February is the hottest price of the year for Zero Res. 3 rooms of carpet cleaned for $147, and the 4th room is free. Zero Res, spelled forward or backwards, it's the right way to clean.
Zero Res.
Start your Sunday off with a cup of Joe and some sports medicine intel. This is Joe C. inviting you to join me and Dr. George Bari for Breaking Bones every Sunday morning at 7:30. And if you miss an episode, just look for Breaking Bones wherever you listen to podcasts.
Discover the difference that local expertise makes at First Coast Lighting and Fans. Visit their showroom at the Avenues and browse high-quality products to match your desire for elegance, quality, and uniqueness at First Coast Lighting and Fans.
Mia here. Since 1982, Closets by Design has specialized in creating dream spaces for every budget. My designer, Frances, made the process so easy. She came to my house and designed a beautiful walk-in closet that's already so incredibly functional for me and old Beau Valentine. Call today to schedule your free in-home consultation at 1-800-293-3744 or visit closetsbydesign.com. And take advantage of extended savings this month. Get 40% off and another 15% off with 18-month special financing.
Hey, it's Matt Hays. Around this time last year, I was celebrating. Why? Because I had reached my goal of dropping 40 pounds with Awaken 180. It felt great. We all set goals, but most times we don't have a plan to hit them, so it's not really a goal. I'd call it more of a wish, and we know how that saying goes. With Awaken 180, I didn't wish the weight away. I had a plan, and this time, I knew I'd reach my goal, and I did it. 40 pounds gone in just 2 months. Simple. That was a year ago, and I haven't put on a pound. How do I feel? Like $1,000,000. Like the horizon line that looked so far away all those years is now right in front of me. And it's a brand new day. And it's time to seize it. Night and day from where I felt carrying around all that weight, having to untuck my shirts, winded trying to tie my shoes. If you're overweight, you know what I mean. Set your goal and know you'll reach it with the solution for weight loss. Call 844-346-1800 or online at awaken180weightloss.com.
I'm here with Danny Van Sickle, director of the Electrical Training Alliance. Danny, tell me about your program.
Hey, Rick, we're a 4-year electrical apprenticeship. Our students start out making over $40,000 a year, and right now make over $90,000 a year, including benefits. There is no tuition or student debt. You just have to apply and get accepted.
Did you say no tuition and no student debt?
You heard that right, Rick. Once you're accepted to the program, your only cost for the books and the course fees. About $800 a year.
That sounds like an amazing opportunity. How can I learn more?
Just go to etajax.org, and you can apply there.
Apply by May 15th.
Are you 18 years or older, just got married, just got divorced, or have children? Listen up. Have you done your last will and estate planning? If you have questions, call Matt Hinson with the Hinson Law Firm. Reach him at 527-1700, offices Jacksonville, Florida. And don't let the state decide your fate.
3D Digital has you covered for any of your business's digital marketing needs. From producing award-winning videos to getting those digital ads to follow your customers around the internet, our team has your back. Visit 3ddigital.com or give us a call at 904-712-4004 to schedule a free consultation today. 904-712-4004.
Roses are red, violets are blue. A broken pipe? That's no way to woo. This Valentine's Day, don't let plumbing or HVAC problems ruin the romance. 904-862-6769 or online at duckduckrooter.com.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Now time for Sports and Courts, legal issues in the sports world with Brett Hastings from the Hastings Injury Law Firm. Hit back with Hastings.
All right, Brett Hastings has joined us here. We're at the Bragan Baseball Complex. We thank our friend Pedro Bragan for making a lot of this happen, and it's at Fort Family Regional Park, the home of Walk-Off Charities. And right now it is Beachside versus Paxson in game 5. Had to count them up. Game 5 of the tournament. So we're excited about that. Brett Jones.
5-1 Paxson.
5-1. How about that? And you know what? Paxson, by the way, and again, Inglewood plays. So I say I don't root for anybody. It's probably not true. I root for my alma mater. But Paxson, I can tell you, has, and Mia and I walked around earlier, and she kind of met some of them. Matt, they probably have about 6 or 7 players on our Walk-Off Charities scout team. Of the 22 players we have, about 5 or 6, I should say, are on this Paxson team. They're good.
That's awesome.
And we're really proud of that scout team, and they play in these travel tournaments, and so we're very proud of them.
Paxson reached the Final Four one year that I covered.
Yep.
It was maybe 2009, something like 2010 maybe.
That was a really good team.
Really good
George
team.
Eldridge was the coach of that team.
Yep.
Tim Lapham was the pitcher that was so good. You'll remember this. Sean Reed Foley is a major league pitcher now, and he's a very good one. His brother, David Reed Foley, was a catcher on that team.
Wow.
Remember that team? I mean, he was a catcher on that.
They were a great story because I want to say, if memory serves, they started the year like 6-11,
right,
and then just got super hot.
But they were really
and rolled
good.
all the way to the final.
Really
four.
good Paxton team. I remember that team very well. But they were legit. A very good team. So there you go. So, Preston, you've been out here to the park once or twice, I think.
Yeah, it's fantastic. I was almost going to big time you and call in.
I told him he had to show up.
I'll tell you what, I thought of that horrible week where we were all just freezing and felt like we lived back in your old place of Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
And came out here, and I even wore shorts, and I'm glad I did it, and all the listeners should. It's really fantastic out here.
Yeah, so we appreciate you coming on. Hey, interesting story that's developing, and I'm glad you brought it up to us. So Matt Rule has canceled his spring game because he said people are going to poach his players. I think people know your players anyway. Okay, so I think it's kind of dumb, but it leads to another question, which is what we're going to delve into. Are there legalities with the tampering? Take me through that.
Yes and no, right? Yeah. So, you can't tamper in the NFL, and we know that there are certain rules that exist, right? Most of that comes from the fact that there's a collective bargaining agreement, and everybody agrees, in certain ways to deal with each other. The NCAA has been just getting their tails kicked, right? Because of really antitrust legal doctrines getting applied. And so the reason that players can move around is, the way these things have come out of antitrust. And one of the things that the court said, and one of the things that, Justice Kavanaugh had said in some of the other language was like, listen, you can't restrict these things, right? The average normal student can go anywhere, and you don't need to have any of these rules. So there should be no restraint from an antitrust perspective, okay? But we get back to what's the biggest fallacy in all of college athletics, right? Name, image, and likeness. Really, we're trying to give money to people under name, image, and likeness to get them to play for us, right? So in the NFL, we literally pay them to play, and there's a contract, and it's enforceable, and there's a certain amount of time, and until the contract is up, there are a whole bunch of other provisions, so you can't go mess with the people, okay? Now, you can't interfere with somebody else's contractual rights, but they're not actually being paid to play at LSU, at Florida State. At Florida, you're paying them, right, for the name, image, and likeness. So, yes, right now, they can reach out to you. And so I agree with you. I think it's probably overkill from Rule, but here's what I think is interesting, right? Everybody has seen how well the SEC network has worked, right? The Big Ten network's doing everything the SEC network is. They now sell these spring games. They replay the spring games. They have studio shows where they break down the spring games. So, but for that, I do think you can go out and probably just sit at home with YouTube TV and scout a whole bunch of guys you could go after, in the portal. How much money does it make? Probably not a lot, but it's probably, from a TV perspective, I bet, we heard what Billy had to say, but I bet the SEC network and the ADs go, hey, we're going to have some games, guys, because we can sell this stuff in March and April when, the basketball tournament's over and people want to pay attention to it. So I think economically they're going to want to do it. But as a coach, if you're trying to hold on to players and you're trying to get from what was Nebraska this last year, 7-5, and get up in
mediocre,
get up into the upper tier, then that's going to kind of go and happen. I would see the ADs not liking this. I do think that, there's a ton of poaching going on right now.
Well, and it feels like until there's more of, an organized collective bargained agreement, it almost seems like anybody can just use the old, I don't think it's a sound legal defense, but just basically say, look, all's fair in love and war.
Right.
We don't have any guidelines here. So, yes, I can tamper as much as I want. You can tamper with my play. That's the system in place. It's not a good system.
Right.
But I don't think that, I don't think, and you correct me if I'm wrong, but I wouldn't think there'd be any real legal recourse if Matt Rule finds out that Billy Napier called his starting center, and said, hey, we'll offer you $500,000 to transfer and come to Florida. I don't know, even if he had the conversation like taped, I don't know that it would matter at this stage.
That's a great question. Is there any legal recourse? Hayes asked a great question. If there's no rules on the books, is there any legal recourse?
There really isn't, right? What have we had happen in the past? people go and say, we're going to play. They get a scholarship. It's a contract for a year, right?
Yeah.
So if you come to me and say, I think you could have a problem if you say, hey, stop this season right now, leave and come out. But if you say, hey, come play next year, your scholarship contractual duties are done, right? The name, image, and likeness thing, it's all a joke anyways, right? These boosters are funneling money to a collective because they want you to play at Miami, at Florida State. They're not enamored with your name, image, and likeness, how good you look holding a tray of Zaxby's chicken or fries, right? No, those are ways that we take corporations and other stuff and we channel the money to the guys. So yeah, I think and that was a not very sophisticated way about doing it, and I think you'd have no legal recourse. And I think now we've got agents and other attorneys and intermediaries and name, image, and likeness experts like Darren Heitner, and they're going to give you a little bit of sophistication, and yeah, you can go and effectuate it.
Is there any, and you're a good person to ask this, because not only are you an excellent attorney and you know the legal world, but you're a diehard sports fan and a college sports fan, so you're a good person to see it from both angles. Is there any end in sight for this train that's out of control that everybody complains about all the time? Is there any end in sight? Is there what can be done, or we just ride the train and try to play by the rules that don't exist?
What I think eventually will happen is the same thing that we've seen happen in pro sports, right? Our pro sports are essentially exempted from antitrust rules, okay? What antitrust says is that, there has to be competition, so we don't want one electric company. But we all basically have agreed in this country we're going to have one pro baseball.
Yeah,
we're going to have one pro football. And I think we're going to end up having one college football, okay? Because I think the thing that really listen, nobody hates the NCAA more than me because I just feel like they've been such a horribly run organization for a long time. But they don't know what to do now because if you define the student athletes as employees, there's going to be a whole bunch of new laws and rules that come there, and they've been losing under the antitrust, right? So I think we've got to get to a point where, we need a commissioner. We need a czar. We need to have some base rules, right, so that we make sure that we do get the compensation and the things to the players and to the kids, because we're never putting that genie back in the bottle, right? But I also think that it would be good to have some rules just to slow some of these things down. I mean, right now it's just stupid. Why does the portal open a week before the national championship, right? That's because the playoff guys didn't even think about what these guys are doing in their jobs and stuff. And so, the things that I do like, I do think the NFL is proactive on changing safety rules and, doing other things like that and everything else. The NCAA is just worried about maintaining their existence now. So now I almost feel like they're retreating and, it's going to get worse before it gets better. That's the one thing that I do think that we're going to see for a while. But I then think you're eventually going to see there be, like a commissioner, a czar. I also think you're going to see basically 4 mega conferences, or what have you. Because the battle now is everybody else in college football, what are they saying? We want that Big Ten money. We want that SEC money, you know?
So where's it land?
Getting back to Matt Rule's decision not to have the Nebraska spring game, could they legally be in trouble if local businesses have contracts with Nebraska and part of that contract is the spring game?
I don't think so. I think the main thing would be the television contract or anything else. Did you agree to put on a game? Did somebody compensate that for you now? And how is that going to go or happen? Because I tried to find out some more, and maybe you guys had seen it. I mean, he still wants to have spring practice, get everybody in there and evaluate them.
Right.
He just doesn't want it to be on TV
where
so
everybody
other
watches.
people can
Yeah, I mean, Florida State, I think, is doing the same thing. I don't know that it's for tampering so much as I think Mike Norvell just wants to keep it under wraps, they're doing.
I think what FSU's trying to do, today's Sports and Courts is about the poaching and the tampering, but you're right. I think FSU's thinking, nobody knows what we're going to look like with all these new coaches and new players. Why show them? So it's a little bit of a difference.
Right. And I can understand that. That's just old school trying to win.
Yeah,
I think Rule's trying to make a statement as much because you got to understand that there are a lot of these coaches, they're frustrated with this because we all know Hey, I mean, it's kind of weird today. Today is National Signing Day, but it's not that big of a story, right? Because of the way things have changed, because so many people have committed and they've signed. But I get the sense that what really frustrates coaches is that you have to constantly recruit your own guys.
No question.
And that's what they want to see. If there's one thing to change, and I think what they're really wanting to say is, hey, the NIL, we can't say it, the pay for play, it's all a joke. But if guys are getting money, can we have some knowns as far as how long they're going to be here? Can we get a 2-year contract?
100%.
Can we get those other types of things? And right now you're not going to get it, and the players are not going to give it to you, and that's not ever going to happen, I believe, unless we get to a point where there is some collective bargaining.
100% agree. So we'll see what winds up happening. Is this NIL and portal world continues to just mushroom out of control? Brett, great work as always. We appreciate it. That's Sports and Courts. Brett Hastings from the Hastings Injury Law Firm. More in a moment, live from the Bragan Baseball Complex after this.
It's the ride home with the Frangie Show from the Harold and Harold studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
Frank Frangie here. These days, it's hard to know which companies to trust. But when it comes to banking, I trust South State Bank. South State truly values its customers, and they work hard to create meaningful, lasting relationships. I love going into my local branch. I see the same smiling faces I've seen for years. South State is the largest bank headquartered in Florida, so they're able to offer all the banking services you need. You can trust South State Bank. Banking forward. Member FDIC. Equal housing lender.
Dan Hicken.
Intuitive improvisation. It's the secret of genius.
Jeff Prosser.
I don't know karate, but I know crazy, and I will use it.
They are the drill.
And I see the clowns playing their parts to perfection.
Mornings on 1010XL.
Hi, folks. I'm Frank Frangie. If you have a sweet tooth like me, the sweetest desserts in town come from Spoonful Bakery. Spoonful is an online bakery. They deliver boxes of assorted desserts right to your home or office. They're so good, and they make for great gifts for friends or clients. And if you want custom orders, wedding cakes or birthday cakes, or catered desserts for an event, they are the best. Log on to spoonful-bakery.com or call them at 904-515-4984. That's Spoonful Bakery for the sweetest desserts in town.
This is Hays Carlyon for Harold and Harold. I was at lunch with my good friend Holt, and he was telling me that sometimes a lawyer can get more from a case than their own client. I was surprised to hear this, but Holt said that doesn't happen with Harold and Harold. They'll never take a fee that is greater than their own client. When they say they treat their clients as a person and not a file, they mean it. Hopefully you won't need them, but if you're ever injured, call Harold and Harold at 904-251-1111. That's 904-251-1111.
Is your dog Team Rough or Team Fluff? It's officially Puppy Bowl season at Dogtopia Jacksonville, Beach Boulevard. They're getting MVPs, most valuable pups, ready for the big game. Your dog deserves a tail-wagging day of fun, and Dogtopia's indoor playrooms are the perfect training ground for their game day moment. Get your dog in on all the action by visiting Dogtopia Jacksonville, Beach Boulevard, and St. John's Bluff. New to the pack? Enjoy a free day of daycare. Mention Puppy Bowl when booking to claim the offer.
Best Bet is number one. That's right, Best Bet Jacksonville, Orange Park, and St. Augustine have one-card poker, the fastest and easiest card game to learn and play. Play one card at a time, and the highest card wins even money. If the card values are the same, it's time for war, just like the game you remember. You must be 18 years or older to play. Learn all the games at bestbetjacks.com. That's bestbetjacks.com.
Bueller, stay cooler with Bueller.
Hey, pal, what's the matter?
I don't know about this air conditioner, Jason.
You know, my job is actually to...
I mean, 1 minute it's working, and the next minute it's not working. And every time I leave the house, I don't know if I'm coming back to a nice, cool oasis or a steaming cesspool of sweaty garbage fumes and dog farts, and then I'll never get to sleep. And I'll be too late to call someone. And what if I've got a big meeting the next morning and I haven't slept a wink?
Okay, dude. Stay cool. Or at least stay cooler.
But
Bueller Air and Plumbing can figure out why your AC only works sometimes and not all the time. We fix that kind of stuff every day.
You mean you can...
Life moves pretty fast. If you spend all your time worrying about an air conditioner that can totally be fixed, you could miss it.
Stay cooler with Bueller.
Visit BuellerAir.com.
She's very comfortable talking sports and hanging out with the boys.
Mia O'Brien here, still providing the best multimedia sports coverage in Northeast Florida on 1010XL radio, video, and social channels.
All things Mia are driven by Arlington Toyota.
Hey Jacksonville, Lauren here for Big Chief Tire. Tax season is the perfect time to invest in your vehicle. Use your refund to tackle overdue tire replacements, brake repairs, or routine maintenance. Big Chief Tire's skilled technicians ensure every dollar counts, keeping your car running strong. With 5 convenient locations around town, fair prices, and trusted expertise, they've got you covered. Visit WeKeepJacksRollin.com or call 904-932-0950 to schedule an appointment today. Big Chief Tire keeps Jacks rollin'.
New and pre-owned firearms are in stock at Beach's Jewelry and Pawn in Jacksonville Beach. Want a new sidearm or rifle? Brands like Kimber, Smith & Wesson, 6 Hour, Beretta. No lines, no hassle. Only at Beach's Jewelry and Pawn in Jacksonville Beach.
Don't miss the big game specials at Southern Steer Butcher. Check out our website for the big game snack attack, party combo, sampler combo, and the best buffalo dip you've ever had.
For tasty tips and juicy breasts, choose Southern Steer Butcher.
Joe C. for Preferred Roofing, reminding you your roof is more than just felt and shingles. It's a system that not only keeps your home dry, but also impacts your heating and cooling bills. Preferred Roofing and Construction is a GAF Master Elite Roofing Contractor, lauded for having the ability to educate and inform homeowners on their options. Why GAF and Preferred Roofing? They're veteran-owned and operated with ties to Duval for decades. A family business ready to make sure your family has a good roof over its head. Log on, preferredroofingjacks.com.
This Black History Month profile is brought to you by McGowan Spinal Rehabilitation Center. Known better by his nickname Truck, Brains High School legend Leonard Robinson used his rugged body and intelligent playmaking to become one of the game's best forwards in the 70s and 80s. Following a dominant career at Tennessee State University, Robinson was taken by the Washington Bullets in the second round of the '74 NBA draft. During his time in the league, he would average 16 points per contest to go along with 9 rebounds and was named an All-Star twice.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
It's a Ricketts Electric Wednesday on the Frangie Show. Ricketts Electric, the power connection you can trust.
We're live at the Bragan Baseball Complex. Paxton leads Beachside 6-1. We are in the top half of the third inning. Again, this Paxton team, a little bit of a special group, and certainly Smitty, a coach with Beachside, an old Inglewood coach, is a great friend as well, Jason Smith. But this Paxton team, a lot of their kids play on our walk-off charities team. I think I've told our scout team, I've told you this before. We started walk-off charities in 2017, and we started with clinics, which we still have, and that's fed into leagues where we now have over 700 kids playing in leagues every year, get to play Little League Baseball, otherwise wouldn't get to. Well, 6 or 7 years in, we have some high school players, and we said, all these tournaments, and I'm not faulting them at all. I coached in that area, that world for a long time, but the Perfect Game and U-Trip, it's just so expensive. Travel baseball, that's why we started walk-off. But travel baseball tournaments, and they play in Fort Myers and Atlanta and Miami and all over. They're so expensive. Well, what if our kids got to play in those tournaments? So we built what we call our scout team. It's a team of high school age kids that are all minorities, all kids that are most from the inner city, and went and played in some of these tournaments. And 2 years ago, got our doors blown in some, won a few. Last year, pretty good. And a lot of these kids on this Paxton team are still on that team. And again, they've jumped out to a 6-1 lead already. You've seen it. You've had a pretty good look at it.
Oh yeah,
it's a pretty
impressive.
good team. It's a pretty good team. So we're really proud that those kids get that experience. I'll tell you one thing that we're going to do. We aren't able to do it this year, but by next year, one of the real cool things for Little League, Youth League baseball players are these Cooperstown trips. Cooperstown's the Baseball Hall of Fame. It's an unbelievable. It's the best Hall of Fame. It's unbelievable. And I mean, there's nothing like Cooperstown. Cooperstown, New York's this quaint, wonderful little town in upstate New York, and the Hall of Fame's magical. So Cooperstown is put together all summer long. They have these 12U teams playing these tournaments in Cooperstown, and it's really cool because that's baseball at its finest, And again, it's not always travel teams or all-star teams, but it's a bunch of teams. Well, not this year, but next year we're going to start taking 12 and under walk-off teams up there. Isn't that cool?
That is fantastic.
It's really. I mean, these kids would have never.
I mean, what a memory.
What a memory. And these kids would have never. Again, these are kids that would have never played baseball. Now they're getting to not only play and take to it. They're going to Cooperstown. And that's, I don't know. I talked too much about it probably, but it really excites me. It's really
fantastic.
Really excites me. It excites me more than it's sometimes you have a calling. It's what you're supposed to do. So I'm very excited about that. So anyway, but they're out here playing right now, Paxton and Beachside, which is really a cool thing. All right. Do you think there's any pause in this 18-game thing? You kind of dismissed it a little bit. I'm wondering.
I mean, the fact that Austin Eckler's ankles take a couple months to heal after the season isn't going to stop the 18th game. And he's the one that spoke out about it. He's right. I think vice president of the Players Union right now. It's his official title. It's a cycle that we go through this every time with the NFL, PA, and the league and the owners, and they'll push back. The league will say, okay, well, just so you know, if we go to the 18th game, the pie piece for you guys is going to grow by $300 million.
Right.
Whatever.
You're going to make a lot more money.
It's going to be some insane number. And they are all going to say to their reps, let's do this. And I do think that the league should put in an additional bye week. I just think it helps the league. I mean, it draws your season out even more.
That's right.
And so
that means more weeks of NFL games.
Right. I wouldn't do we're going to play 18 games, but no player can play more than 17. I wouldn't do that because that's going to really throw off the competitive balance of the league.
Agreed.
So you've got to have players available for all the games. But I think if you give them 2 bye weeks, and obviously, look, you're going to see OTAs go away. They're going to come in, maybe to do some classwork stuff, but they're not going to be really much out on the field, and they really aren't, to be honest. Even in mandatory minicamp in June, that's still no contact. You're still not really putting your body in great strain to go out there and do it. But they'll scale back. They'll give them more of their off season back. They'll probably shave off some camp as well, and because really in an 18-game schedule, I mean, you can kind of be lousy for the first couple weeks, and it doesn't really hurt you. You still have 16 games left. You got plenty of time to get cranked up. So maybe cut some training camp, and I think it's where they should go. You'll have 2 preseason games instead of 3, which are never going to be anything more than just a total farce. So you get to the 18-2 model. And I think the players will jump on board. There may be some older players that are like, this is too much, but the money is going to be so big that for the overwhelming amount of players, particularly the ones that they know, their careers are probably only going to be about 3 years in this thing because that's the average. They're all going to be like, no, we need to do this. We need to make as much money as we can make because not all of us are going to play in this league for 12 years.
Lloyd Howell Jr., who is the Players Association Executive Director, said, and I quote, "No one wants to play an 18th game. No one. 17 games is already, for many of the guys, too long. 17 games is also so lengthy that you're still dealing with injuries going into the next season. So there are a variety of issues that hang off of the length of the season before any formal negotiations." Well, to your point, and I think you're right, the reality is that's a negotiation. Hal later said, quote, "Any commentary outside of a formal negotiation is just commentary. It's a player's decision as to what they will agree to do or not." Well, he's negotiating right there. To your point, I think you're dead on. We're going to have 18-2. I've said it all along, and I'll stand by until it doesn't happen. I've said within the last 2 years it'll be by the 26th season, and I still believe it. It won't be the 25th season. I believe by the 26th season we'll have 18-2. I do think it's better. I do think you manage the season better. And frankly, let's be honest about it. Player safety is first and foremost, and that's where the discussion point is. We all know that. But from fan interest, from the following of it, to your point a moment ago, a longer season, and we need a shorter preseason because that's the only thing the NFL does that fans don't like. The NFL is king of the world. The NFL has figured it out. The NFL knows exactly what to do, what fans want them to do, the whole bit. The only thing that the NFL does that its fans don't like is a month-long preseason. That's the one. And the NFL has addressed that by going from a month-long preseason to 3 games. Remember, and I know you won't remember this. I barely do. It used to be 6.
Yeah.
It was 6 The NFL had 6 preseason games, and by then you didn't. And everybody played in them. Now you only played 12 or 14 games, but you had 6 preseason games, and then that went to 4. In the last few years, it's gone to 3. It'll go to 2. I don't know that it'll ever go under 2. I think that's where it stops. I think 18-2 is where it'll stop. You'll have 18 regular season. And by the way, I would be okay with 17-2. But the teams, and I understand it, are never going to give up the gate.
Right.
That what you're never going to do is give up the gate. That's one less home game. And I mean, what league, in fairness to the NFL, what league ever does something to make less money?
Right.
Nobody. No one's ever going to do anything to make less money. That's never going to happen. So at any point, it's never going to happen. So that's off the table.
Well, and again, let's just take the Jaguars. The Jaguars open camp, and we're all thrilled. It's exciting, obviously. They're back out on the field. That's great. It's usually around like July 25th. I mean, the opener isn't until like September 10th. So we'll be like 2.5 weeks into training camp, and you'll still be a month from the first game, which is just preposterously too long. I mean, they don't need that much time. This is what they do now. They're not selling insurance in the offseason like they were in the 1970s.
Great point.
I mean, this is what they do. They're professional athletes. They stay ready. And again, in the classroom and stuff like that, they can figure out their assignments. Take training camp from 6 weeks of just monotony and take it down to 4 weeks. 4 weeks with 2 games. I mean, you might have to the Hall of Fame game. They might have to figure out. They'd obviously have to move it back. But in terms of it, the training camp is 6 weeks, and it's at least 2 weeks too long. So that's what I would do. Cut training camp by 2 weeks. Give them some of their OTAs back in terms of that, and go to an 18-game model where it's a 20-week regular season. You don't have no one has a bye before the first in the first 4 weeks, and no one has a bye in the last 4, but you get those 2, right in there, and I think that'll help. And look, the guy saying that some of us have injuries we don't recover from until even into the next year. Well, then that's an injury you didn't report. I mean, if you've torn your ACL, you've blown out a labrum, yes, that's an injury that's going to linger. But those are massive injuries that require surgery. I mean, to suggest that just your average wear and tear takes until July, and you're still, I don't believe that at all.
Yeah.
I mean, look, I understand that it's incredibly grueling. There's probably nothing else you could do that's more physically taxing on your body than playing NFL football. But these are young men. They're in great condition, and I will never believe they need 6 weeks to get over things that are not surgical fixes.
I agree with you. Let's move on to the Jaguars. I think we both still believe, I think most people still believe, the general manager hire will happen sooner rather than later. Anything that you've seen now, just online, about names? The Jags have been very good, very transparent about who they're interviewing. Anything jump off the page? Any of them grab you more than any others?
Not really. I usually look at the organization more than the individual because it's just hard to know.
Yeah.
It was easy to know Mike Borgonzi because you knew for years.
And you had heard about him for years.
He'd been with the Chiefs since they launched the Andy Reid era.
Right.
So you knew he was there for how they turned that thing completely around and ended up becoming the dynasty to succeed New England. But no, most of these guys, it's there's a lot of anonymity involved in this group. So I think you look at the organizations. I mean, you gotta like the LA Rams guy. He's young. You gotta love the fact that he's on the scouting side of things.
James Gladstone.
Yep, they had an unbelievable draft this year. Obviously, picking up 2 outstanding Florida State Seminoles, so I guess. I'd be fine with any of them because I don't really know any of them.
Yeah,
and we're never going to know exactly what they were responsible for in their organization, what decisions they made. I mean, obviously, they can tell you in an interview, but you're never going to know definitively who did what in what organization. But yeah, I would look at the structure. I wouldn't hire the Giants guy. I'm sorry, I just wouldn't. I think the Giants are a mess. I don't want anybody that's working in the New York Giants front office. But other than that, the Chargers, Cincinnati, like we mentioned, the Rams. We know the Tampa Bay, Mike Greenberg is now out of it, which is not a problem at all. So I would look more at the organizations that I like and that I think do it the right way more than an individual guy, particularly when you're dealing with guys that are so young. Like, Ian Cunningham be fine. Chicago, I think they made a great trade. In terms of the Bryce Young thing.
Right.
Now, that may end up working out well for Carolina, too. But Chicago, that was a fantastic trade. Chicago's brought in some good players. I don't think they'll make a hire the only hire that it would kind of raise my eyebrow would be hiring somebody from the New York Giants, just because all I've seen for 4 months is incompetence on every level.
And I will say this, too. And the procurement of new important people is always fun. It's fun in recruiting for college fans. The draft is a blast. Everybody loves the draft. Hiring of a new coach, people get excited about who it might be, who it might not be, and coordinators and general managers come into that category too. But it's all there's one thing that connects all of those. You really don't know anybody other than free agency. Okay, other than free agency is a little different. But because anybody in free agency has already done it, so you have a little bit of a sample size of what they can do, a sample. Other than that, the draft, recruiting, hiring a coach that's never done it before, hiring a GM that's never done it before, you don't know. And so it's a fun follow for sure. Mike Greenberg, Rick Stroud had an interesting tweet, and he said that Greenberg pulled out. It wasn't because of any of the Liam Cohen stuff. It wasn't because of any negative stuff. He just was loyal. And he, I think the tweet said he's honored to be considered. Well, that was something Greenberg wanted Stroud to say. No doubt. When someone says, when a writer says, and I like Rick does a great job, but when a writer says Greenberg was honored to be considered, that was Greenberg saying, make sure you tell people that I was honored to be considered. So I got that, and good for him for doing it. So I think all that's kind of over now. I think it's just a matter of going and getting it.
It's definitely over on our end.
Well,
I mean, I don't. They may keep it going for years, that's their prerogative. But I think on our end, it's ancient history.
Other than the fan base, the Tampa Bay fan base, and by the way, if Jason Light stays mad, then he stays mad. But I mean, I don't think in terms of what's going to happen from a people change. I think that part's over. If Tampa Bay blocked some asks, well, their theory is we block guys because we want to keep them. And I get that part of it.
Probably getting ready to hire, and I think they actually have hired their OC.
They have. They've hired.
But in all likelihood, that OC was going to want to retain a lot of
good people.
Cohen staff.
That's exactly. They're good people. So we'll see what winds up. All right, more football coming up a little bit later on. Hey, it's about time to talk a little golf, though. Our friend Lee Smith is going to join us momentarily from right here at the ballpark. Love having Lee on. He's going to talk about what's going on with the players right around the corner, bro. We're going to talk about the players and what's coming up with the Players' Championship. We also asked Lee to look around the world of golf. What did Lee think of Rory's win? I loved it. I loved Rory's win. We talked about it on the program yesterday. I loved watching it. I love the way it came about. I love the fact that it was a good leaderboard. So we'll certainly talk about the world of professional golf. We'll talk about the Players' Championship. And again, Lee Smith with us every week now until obviously the players. But honestly, we may turn him loose after the British Open.
Yeah,
I don't think until or the Tour Championship. Yeah. So hopefully Lee once a week until the Jaguars kick it off again. So he does a great job. He really does. He does a great job talking golf. So Lee Smith from the Players Championship, the executive director, will join us after this. It's 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
The Frangie Show from the Harrell and Harrell studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
Jaguars football lives here.
Listen, we sticking together.
1010XL.
If you need an insurance agent, I'll recommend the best guy in town, State Farm agent Craig Dewhurst. Call him at 940-9740. Really good guy, really good agent. Life insurance, homeowners, automotive, you name it, he'll handle it for you. Tell him what you need. He'll assess your whole situation. What kind of coverage do you need? How much coverage? What should your deductible be? What do you make, and how does it fit your cost and your rates? You will love dealing with Craig. What a nice guy he is, and how he'll help you get the right answers. The best in the business. Craig Dewhurst from State Farm, 940-9740.
Now you can watch 1010XL shows all day on X, Facebook, and YouTube. Brought to you by MyBookie. Experience Vegas from the comfort of your phone anytime, anywhere. Sign up today. Use promo code 1010XL.
Joe C. for Blossman Gas. They've been providing hometown service and the comforts of propane to home and businesses since 1951. Imagine movie night spent around glowing gas fireplace logs, cookouts in the backyard with your propane grill, or laundry done faster with your gas dryer. Blossman has a wide variety of gas appliances to fit your needs. Propane delivery, gas appliances, and a full-service team. Blossman Gas is your local company for everything propane. Blossman Gas, log on, blossmangas.com, and check out the Blossman difference.
If you're living with dry age-related macular degeneration or dry AMD, you may be at risk for developing geographic atrophy or GA. GA can be unpredictable and progress rapidly, leading to irreversible vision loss. Now there's something you can do to
slow it down and get it going slower.
Izervay is proven to slow GA progression.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Izervay or avacincaptad Pagel is a prescription eye injection used to treat GA. Don't take it if you have an infection or active swelling in or around your eye. Izervay can cause eye infection, retinal detachment, or increased risk of wet AMD. Izervay may temporarily increase eye pressure. Your vision may be impaired after an eye injection or exam. Don't delay. Ask your doctor about Izervay today.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Visit Izervay.com. That's IZERVAY.com.
Ready, aim, inspire. At the 7th Annual Mackenzie Noel Wilson Foundation Clay Shoot, Thursday, February 20th at Jack's Clay Target Sports. Hi, I'm Paul Martinez, president of the Boys and Girls Clubs in Northeast Florida. We've got you covered. Ammo, carts, clays, delicious food, and amazing prizes. Whether you're a sharpshooter or just in it for fun, this event is for you. Support the important work of the Boys and Girls Clubs of Northeast Florida and Mackenzie's Camp Deep Pond. Sign up at bgcnf.org/events.
The flagship station of the Jacksonville Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
Hey, sports fans, it's Hays Carlyon from MyBookie. Eagles and Chiefs, this isn't just the biggest game of the year. It's the ultimate betting event. If you're not on MyBookie, you're missing out on the action. Big game betting with MyBookie goes beyond just picking the winner. We've got all the wild props you can think of for this epic showdown. MyBookie loves giving you options to bet on everything. What really makes MyBookie stand out, we make it easy to win and even easier to get paid. Whether you deposit with crypto or credit, bonuses await, and our new loyalty program gives you cash back just for playing. Bet on big game boosted parlays, live betting, and jackpots that can turn small bets into big wins. Fast signups, lightning fast payouts. This is where winners play. Why just watch when you can own the big game? Sign up with MyBookie now. Use promo code 1010XL and get your 50% sign-up bonus to kick things off. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere, only with MyBookie.
Super Sunday.
Everyone wants to be a part of NFL history.
The players, the plays, the preparation.
Gave yourself an opportunity to do something special.
Tackle the top storylines and prepare for the game of the year with 1010XL and Window World of Northeast Florida.
Hi, everybody. Mike Dempsey here for Awaken 180 Weight Loss. This Sunday's the big game. Look, don't blame me. This would be much easier if I could say this has finally come. Parties, football, libations, food, all the festivities we welcome every February. The question is, what if you're trying to lose weight but still enjoy watching this with friends? The answer? Nothing. As I've told you before, Awaken 180 is built for real-life scenarios. The reason Awaken 180 is now in their 9th year and growing nationally, the program works. Eat wings and meatballs while watching the Super Bowl. Have a beverage while betting on the Super Bowl. Live your life while enjoying the Super Bowl. I think you get the point. Whether you're in the weight loss phase or in free lifelong maintenance, Awaken 180 won't get in the way of enjoying the big game. Reserve your consultation today at awaken180weightloss.com or call 844-346-1800. That's 844-346-1800 for Awaken 180 Weight Loss.
Hey, it's Angela and Brian Wall. How many companies do you know in this day and age that actually want their potential customers to call their competition and get quotes from them?
That's what WindoWorld wants you to do. WindoWorld knows there are other window companies out there, but we also know those other guys. When compared to WindoWorld, they can't offer you the quality at the price that WindoWorld can.
And with Window World, you get the absolute best guarantee there is in the window replacement business.
If anything goes wrong with your new WindoWorld windows, 5 years from now, 10, 15, 50, WindoWorld and I will be there to fix it for you. You get peace of mind with WindoWorld, and to top it off, WindoWorld windows increase the value of your home. So look what you get with WindoWorld. Quality windows, low price, the best guarantee in the business, energy savings, and an increase in the value of your home. A win-win for you.
Call Window World today and get your free in-home estimate or see them online at windowworldneflorida.com.
Window World, simply the best for less. Thank you for your business.
Window World also offers energy-efficient doors.
I'm Max Fink, here with your 1010XL Southeast Orthopedic Specialist local sports update, brought to you by Southern Oak Insurance. Freshly hired Jaguars head coach Liam Cohen sat down with JP Shadrick and essentially broke down what the process of becoming a new NFL head coach is like while mapping out his plan for success. Cohen also talked about the interview process that landed him the job, where he looked at the organization from an outsider's perspective to see what he can do to incorporate success.
When I was interviewed for the position, okay, what are the things that maybe the Jacksonville Jaguars can improve on? Here's my evaluation. This is an honest, open conversation that we're having, and then be able to go back and forth on some of those values, the moral compasses, the standards at which you want to kind of operate at, and how do we reach all these guys in a different way? Everybody learns differently. Everybody adapts to change differently, and I think that's what's going to be important.
It's 76 degrees at 5:01. Time and temp brought to you by Bueller Air and Plumbing. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
It's a Ricketts Electric Wednesday on the Frangie Show. Ricketts Electric, the power connection you can trust.
Hi, welcome back to the program. We're live at the Bragan Baseball Complex. That's near and dear to my heart, as you know. The Walk-Off Charities High School Baseball Tournament is here, and we appreciate everyone stopping by. We'll be here all week long. Frank Frangie, Hays Carlyon. My buddy Lee Smith joins us for the first time, for the first of many weeks in a row. He's the executive director of the Players Championship, who's always very good to our charity. We always thank you for that, because that means a lot to us. So, but good to see you. How are you?
Doing great. We're happy to be here. Nice outside. I think somebody may have mentioned it I heard on the ride over here, but I think the last time we were here was a little colder.
It was.
Maybe a little rainy or something, if I remember right.
I mean, the ribbon cut, I've told this story many times. We had the ribbon cutting for this park in February, and Mayor Deegan, and I've known Donna for 30 years, came out. She was kind enough. And we didn't put a tent up because the forecast said maybe some intermittent showers in the morning, but nothing until the afternoon. Well, there was one intermittent shower.
Yeah.
It rained from 10 to about 10:15. That's the only time it rained, and that was our whole ribbon cutting.
Yeah.
So we got the mayor drenched.
Councilman Salem too was here. I think if I remember right.
Drenched.
Big baseball fan. Yeah, they were wet.
We drenched them all.
Yep,
So
yep.
hey man, good to see you. I want to talk all about the world of golf. I loved watching Rory win. It was fun. But let's start with the players. Are we ready? Updated? Give me kind of a state of the union.
We are. I'll tell you, inside the ropes, golf course is in really, really good shape. I've gotten the question a couple of times. Has this cold stretch, been bad or good for the golf course? But the overseed and the ryegrass really, really likes it.
Okay.
Certainly these last 5 weeks from tomorrow is round one, if you can believe it.
How about that? 5 weeks from tomorrow.
We're, we certainly could always use some sunshine, but golf course is in really, really good shape. Outside the ropes, we're certainly excited about, new things. We fan forward is kind of our catchphrase of really focusing on the fan. And one of the things we heard after last year's tournament was a little bit more public access opportunities for fans. So we've got a 10-11 bleacher that's got really, really good golf viewing.
Okay.
That's going to have some bleacher seating. It's going to have a patio and kind of a 360 that gives you taking a look at number 12 and down all the way down the hole on 11, and it's actually right on 10 green. So really a great opportunity for the stadium pass holder
the 10
there.
Green on the right side.
Yeah, long right.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
So a really cool new viewing patio there. Mayo is a sponsor of that, and really happy that they came aboard, and that was an important area for them. We've got our partners with Comcast Business are developing an app for all of the people on site to be able to, what they're calling it is game the green. So we're working to kind of gamify hole 17, basically take the green, break it into a bunch of segments, and you kind of predict.
Oh, very cool.
I wanted to say gamble, but you predict as to where the shot's going to land, and AI will kind of give you a little bit of nudge as to where it, what history tells you. But you can garner points for that, and you win you win prizes and all of that type of thing. It's just another one of those things to get fans on site engaged in hole 17. So we're excited. A lot of new stuff.
Very cool. You guys always do such a magnificent job with military appreciation. Tell us all about the activities that you'll have that Tuesday.
Yeah, super excited. Jordan Davis will be our concert act. We haven't announced our national anthem act, but a local contest that we hosted and had quite a few entries, and quite a few of our PGA Tour colleagues and staff members judged. And went into the new studios building and watched them on the big screen, and it was a unanimous decision. So we'll make that known here in the next week. But military ticket program, always really an important thing for us. Hays on Tuesday. That's sold out for Tuesday. There's only a few military. We have quite a few tickets that we provide complimentary, and then we have discounted tickets for military, and those were super popular again this year, and we look forward to celebrating our military, recognizing flyover, national anthem. We've actually got a surprise in store for that, and then the concert will go on at 5, and Jordan Davis will play till 6, so we're super excited.
How big of a coup was it to get him?
It's we're certainly catching him at a really, really good time. He's a Southeastern Conference guy. People won't love that maybe he's more of an LSU than he is
they love the
this side of the fence. It was one of those things. He was a target from the very beginning. It's always a kind of an up and coming country star. He opened for Luke Combs in a concert at tour all throughout the country this past year. So he's not a fresh face, but somewhat new on the scene, but really, really popular. We've gotten good feedback so far.
Yeah, Lauren Brooks, who is the world's expert on country music, says he's very good. She's very excited.
She is. I always have her voice in the back of my head, telling me do not do anything other than country whenever we start to deviate off the path a little bit.
Hey, I always ask you about changes to whether it's the golf course, the spectator areas. You already told us about 10 and 11. That's kind of a cool thing. Anything else to emphasize, whether it's the golf course, whether it's viewing areas, whether it's new food vendors, any other news?
Yeah, we're, once again excited about hosting 24 local restaurants. That's really a focus at the Players, Frank, is what you're used to when you eat out 51 weeks of the year, that you don't have to sacrifice that 1 week a year. When you come to the Players Championship, you can eat Bono's Barbecue. This year we have Bagels R Us, which is a new one for us, which we've gotten just a lot of positive feedback about their product and the quality of their product. Let's see.
Tacos.
We always have tacos on 12. Bono's Barbecue, and just a lot of different, we have our Taste of Jacks, we have food trucks, we have, so activating those restaurants are always a really important thing. Course changes, I think as we were going through last year, I talked a little bit, we added a little bit of yardage. We put the big tree back that Pete Dye left as an iconic symbol. It'll be interesting to see the feedback on that. I'd also say that
tell people where that is.
It's on number 6, 6T. So
which is the one. The 5 and 7 are the hard holes. They're all hard holes, but 6 is the one that goes the other way, and that tree changes the hole.
It does. And it provides. If you look at the math or the science, the ball launch from the tee, the tree doesn't come into play.
Right.
It comes into play with the 6 inches in between your ears.
That's right.
That when you see this thing hanging over, you think that I got to hit it low. Now all of a sudden you make a fundamental change to your golf swing, try to hit it lower, and so we're excited about seeing that. We lost that tree in 2014 and transplanted that from about 100 yards down the hole, and we're excited about one of the things we're leaning into this year too is celebrating the anniversaries of our past champions. So Hal Sutton will be back on property for his 25th anniversary of Be the Right Club today. Lee Trevino's celebrating his 45th anniversary. He'll be back on property. And then certainly Scotty trending towards back to back or the I don't want to use three-peat. Did we have to pay Pat Riley for that if we even say it?
Apparently yes. Or now the Chiefs because they both own it.
So we're certainly excited about the possibility.
What'd you make of Scheffler's performance? We'll get to Rory, but I thought it was encouraging coming off the hand injury because you just never know with that how severe it might be. But it seemed like he was in pretty good form.
Yeah, I would give him a solid. There was, there is even a point where if he got really hot on those last 6 or 7 holes, he might have contended. Now Rory making eagle late and, some of those types of things kind of played Scotty out of it. But, yeah, I think he's, for the first tournament of the year, certainly trending where he needs to be. And maybe 5 weeks from now he'll be in peak form.
I got to tell you, Lee, I'm a big believer that for the common fan and for interest in ratings and whatnot, baseball's better when the Yankees and the Dodgers play in the World Series, which they did. Basketball's better when the Celtics win it, which they did. I think Rory winning was great. I in my mind, to the casual fan, with Tiger no longer really in play, he's the number one guy. With Tiger and Phil no longer factors, he's the guy everybody recognized. I think it's great that he won. It was a blast watching it, I thought, on Sunday.
Yeah, 100%. I think you saw it in the numbers. I think the best viewership that event's had in the last 4 or 5 years. And certainly exciting to see Rory playing well. And I think it's, to me, it's almost a little bit of a signal to the rest of the rest of the tour that if Rory wedges it well, and is able to flight wedges and play distance control with wedges because he gets a lot of them.
Right.
He gets more wedges into greens than anybody because he hits the driver so well. It could be a dangerous year for everybody else if Rory's able to wedge it. That's for sure.
Hays, I thought if you're watching it on Sunday, which obviously we all were, if you're watching it, I think the fact that in golf parlance compared to other sports, the fact that Rory could go to 18 and hit a 4-iron or a 5-iron or whatever he hit, that's like emptying the bench, isn't it? That's kind of dominating the game, right?
Well, the previous par 5, he takes it over the trees and hits 7-iron in. That's not a par 5 that I've ever played.
Right.
Taking it over the trees and hitting a 7-iron.
Right.
And then on 18, to your point, being able to
whatever, he bundled the iron right down there.
Put the walk-ons in.
Yeah, he did. That's what he did.
With your 4-iron.
Right.
Yeah, and close it out with ease. That's and I think if you look back at some of the majors that he's won, and he's tended to do that. He's won kind of going away, as opposed to close down the stretch.
Who are some youngsters on the tour that you kind of have your eye on for the season, but also maybe to make a big statement here at the Players Championship?
I'd still consider him a youngster, but certainly Ludwig Oberg.
Is he okay? I saw he withdrew. Was that serious, or was
no?
that...
As I understand, I don't know the details, Hays, but him now being a local, he lives here, and
he's a wonderful player.
See him every once in a while walking through the parking lot at TPC Sawgrass. Certainly, I think that golf course will be comfortable to him. You look at just a lot of the college kids that are able to come out. I mean, you got a guy like Luke Clanton as an example. I think this week he's got the ability that if he makes the cut, he gets his PGA Tour card because of the PGA Tour U and the amount of points that he's accumulated, or at least he'll have the choice to play the rest of the season, or he can finish up college. But I think you got to get 20 points, and when you make a cut in a tour event, it's a point, and there's a system to that. But a guy like Luke Clanton, the name escapes me, but there's another one that has 19 points that's playing in college. Gordon Sargent's back at Vanderbilt, and he's already accumulated enough points to get his PGA Tour card. So, it's an exciting time. You look at the young talent, and then, the 5 winners we've had this year. What do we got? Matsuyama from Asia. Nick Taylor from Canada won Sony.
That's right.
Sepp Straka from Austria won. Rory from Northern Ireland, and then there's one more that I'm.
But you're right. It's been a very international start.
Yeah, absolutely. There are 5 different countries. Well, U.S. who won last week.
I'm drawing a blank.
Why is it escaping me?
It's escaping me too.
But you're right. An American has won. It's escaping me too. What do you think of the TGL? You watching it?
Yeah, I think it's fun.
It is fun.
I think if you're turning it on and taking it too seriously, then it's probably not for you.
Right.
But it's one of those things that I think they certainly it feels like they got a few kinks to work out, or players getting used to technology, because certainly it's not, a wedge that you plan on hitting 100 yards that you would hit 100 yards 99 out of 100 times outside is a little different when a camera and an algorithm and those types of things and a launch monitor are capturing it. It's just different.
It's fun, though,
you can see some frustration from players that say that no way that went more than 100 yards, whatever it is. But it is fun. It's fun to watch. It's fun to see them compete, and ultimately when you turn it on a Monday or Tuesday night, and you're competing with reruns of 30-something or a bad basketball game that maybe you don't want to watch. It's certainly, I think, entertaining.
I guess what I think, and Hays and I talked about it a little bit, I think golf's made a little bit of a run in the last 2 decades or whatever on the 4 major sports. I think it's golf. I think golf's next, and now you put it on where it feels like it's in an arena. The one thing golf has different than everything else is you got to walk all over the place to watch it. It almost turned golf into basketball and hockey a little bit. You're right. Don't take it too seriously, but I think I think there's some staying power.
Yeah. No, I think it. I think I heard Stewart on Brunch with the Tour on Tuesday, and I agree with him to talk about. I think if it was an every week for 52 weeks, it might be a little overkill. But if you're talking about 14, 15 weeks and the first quarter of the year, and then you can kind of get excited about maybe additional franchises or additional locations, and there's no debating the technology and the vibe, and tons of celebrities there, owners, and excited about the competition. I think it's like I said, I think it's a lot of fun to watch.
All right, well, it's great having you here. I look forward to doing this.
Look forward to it.
Every week, and like I said, we'll give you the first week of September off. Okay, so everyone gets vacation. Okay, so there's that. But seriously, you do.
I'll book it now. I'll book my vacation now.
You do a great job talking golf. We love having it every week. And again, I've told people, ultimately it'll be Thursdays, but it's gonna vary as we do. This is sort of the remote season for us.
Yep.
Because things are going on, baseball's going on, basketball's going on. So, but great having you, Lee. Thanks, buddy.
Look forward to it. Thank you.
Take a break. Hays has headlines after this. Stay with us.
It's the ride home with the Frangie Show from the Harold and Harold studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
This is Hays Carlyon for Physician Guided Weight Loss. I'm down 20 pounds already thanks to Physician Guided Weight Loss. I feel great, and it's all thanks to them. Their amazing technology, fast setup, friendly staff, and proven results sold me. They can help you too, and it's affordable with firm pricing, no rising costs as you go. If you're like me and looking to kick off the new year with a leaner body, call my friends at Physician Guided Weight Loss at 257-4344. That's 257-4344.
One of the best kept secrets in the United States. Shh, let's keep it that way. Jacksonville, FLA, home of 1010XL.
This is Hays Carlyon from my friend Holt at Harold & Harold. There doesn't seem to be enough time in the day to get everything done. Then you get injured in an accident and you don't know what you're going to do. Let Harold & Harold make it easy for you. Easy on becoming a client. You can just text or email if you want. Easy on finding a doctor and getting through the process. Hopefully you won't need them, but if you're ever injured, call Harold & Harold and make it easy on yourself. Call them at 904-251-1111. That's 251-1111.
Many plumbers won't quote prices over the phone and instead charge a service fee for an in-home estimate. Of course, because they know once they're in your home, you're probably not going to send them away. But Roland Reach Plumbing is different. Roland will give you a price quote over the phone. And there's never a trip charge or service fee for an estimate. So if you've got a leak and can't wait a week and don't like paying unnecessary fees, call on Roland Reach Plumbing at plumbingjacksonville.com.
Hammond, Valentine's Day is coming up. Got any romantic plans?
Dad, I'm married to Clean Air. My plan is to help Jacksonville families breathe easier.
You're helpless, but Clean Air does sound nice. Can duct cleaning really help?
Absolutely. Dust, allergens, even odors can build up in your ducts. Cleaning them now makes your air fresher and healthier for your family. The EPA says better indoor air quality can reduce health risk.
So cleaning ducts are like Valentine's Day gift for the house.
Exactly. Forget chocolates. Fresh air lasts longer and doesn't melt. Plus, we've got a February special, $100 off your total.
All right, sign me up. Maybe fresh air will make Mom fall in love with me again all over.
You'll have to take her to dinner for that, but cleaner air will definitely help.
Fair enough. Jacksonville, if you're ready to show your home some love, Google Zerorez and read over 7,000 five-star reviews. Zerorez.
Spelled forward or backwards, it's the right way to clean.
Cerorez. Zerorez.
Visit Monahan Jewelers now through Valentine's Day for savings on all GIA certified diamonds and discounts store-wide up to 40% off and interest-free financing on all purchases. Certified diamonds, gemstones, engagement rings, diamond studs, designer brands. Monahan's has it all. We're not a chain store. We're your local family jeweler since 1977 with a world-class inventory of fine jewelry and diamonds and gemstones available in any size. Support your local family jeweler now through Valentine's with huge savings in our inventory. Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach.
Hey folks, Mike Dempsey here for Pella Windows and Doors. Look, it's kind of cooling down right now. I love opening my windows up this time of year. If you're looking to upgrade your windows in your home, I want you to visit the Pella showroom on Phillips Highway. Ask about their latest hurricane and impact-resistant windows and doors, rated #1 by Consumer Reports in all 3 main window categories. You want quality, style, and protection? Visit PellaJacks.com and the showroom on Phillips Highway just north of Bay Meadows. That's Pella Windows and Doors online at PellaJacks.com.
U.S. Border Patrol PBR is at 5-Star Veterans Memorial Arena February 22nd and 23rd. For your chance to win a 4-pack of tickets, text PBR to the text line covered by Lifetime Flooring at 641-1010.
Pickett here with my concierge doctor, Richard Townsend. Doc T, how does a concierge direct primary care operate?
We are a membership-based primary care made directly between a patient and physician. We'll have a limited amount of patients that allows us to give unlimited access and personal service to you. This individualized approach has been shown to lower hospitalizations as well as maintain healthier lives. We also give 24/7 access via phone to me outside of our scheduled office hours.
To learn more, go to mypvconcierge.com.
Have you tried golfing at the improved Cimarron Golf Club? If you haven't, tell you what, you're missing out on the best deal in Jacksonville. Now, many of you have received a postcard in the mail, and of course, if you bring that with you, $45 plus tax to play. That includes a cart, lunch, and a beer at the brand new Stone Barrel Tap House. Now, go to the website, that is CimarronGolfClub.com, and sign up for the Wild One Loyalty Program. That's the Wild One Loyalty Program, and get all of these specials emailed to you from Cimarron.
Homeowners, listen up. It's time to start fresh in 2025. Prosser here, and Loan Pronto is here to help take control of your finances in 2025 by lowering your house payments and consolidating that nagging debt. Did you know that 9 out of 10 borrowers get a better deal by calling Loan Pronto? Right now, Loan Pronto has some of the most competitive offers for refis, debt consolidation, and purchase loans, starting in the low 5s APR. If your current rate is over 6%, don't settle for paying too much. Even if you're in process with another lender, call Loan Pronto now. Lock in at a lower rate today and close in as little as 2 weeks, often with no appraisal. You can even skip your next 2 house payments. It's fast, easy, and hassle-free. Get your personalized Loan Pronto rate quote instantly with no hard credit pull and no upfront fees. Call now, 904-999-1508, or go to loanpronto.com. That's 904-999-1508. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval, NMLS, consumeraccess.org.
1010XL is presented by Farrah & Farrah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555, Jacksonville.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? Gather round. It's Hays' Headlines, presented by Harold & Harold. Don't settle for less than you deserve. Hear all about it. Here's Hays Carlyon.
All right, welcome back to the Frangie Show. We are at the Bragan Baseball Complex, the home of walk-off Charities. Paxton has a 7-1 lead over Beachside. Coming out, it's going to be baseball all night. We'll get an update from you here in a minute. But come see us. Frank Frangie is here. JJ LaSelva back at 1010XL. And I am Hays Carlyon. Thank you to our friends at Harold & Harold. Give them a call, 251-1111 if you are injured. Hopefully you won't need them, but if you do, that is who you need to put your trust into. Frank, we're going to start with the Jaguars. Not a lot of breaking news today, so I want to ask you more about the team. Let's start with the running backs. What's your confidence level moving forward in Travis Etienne and Tank Bigsby?
Well, I'm very confident because everything you read, hear, see, and even our conversation with him about Liam Cohen is they're going to run the ball. That if there's one thing, and I appreciate Press Taylor. I know everyone got mad at Press, but Press said before the season we got to strip down our running game and figure it out. They weren't able to do it, but it was a priority. Trevor said after the season, Trevor Lawrence made the point. He said, hey, one of the things that hurt us the most is we weren't able to run the football, and that made us predictable. So it's on everybody's mind. I think Liam Cohen is very good at finding the running game. Having said that, if that's the case, I like the two backs. I think they got to run block better. And so I think that's where the answer to your question is, Hayes. But I like the backs. I think they've got to block better for the backs. And if they do, I think they're going to run the ball, and I think that'll be a real priority for Liam Cohen.
Let's get to the Super Bowl. We all know about Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce on Kansas City's side, but the Chiefs always seem to find an X factor. Any guesses on who that player might be on Sunday?
Boy, that is a great point. You could go Worthy, you could go Pacheco, you could go. There's a lot of guys. Probably Xavier Worthy, because I think I always tell you this. The one thing that I'm not sure they completely replaced, even though they keep winning Super Bowls, when they lost Tyreek Hill was the explosiveness. Pacheco gives them that a little bit. Worthy gives them that more. So remember they tried to bring in Kadarius Toney, hoping he would give them that. The only thing they're not, even when they're really good, is explosive as they were with Tyreek Hill. So how about that?
Yeah, and he played great. The rookie played great against the Bills, so that's a good call. Let's get into some hiring news around the NFL. Tampa Bay is hiring Charlie Strong as defensive line coach. Good for Charlie.
Yeah, good for Charlie. Charlie lives in Tampa. Charlie's a good football coach. He's a good football man. A lot of people have brought in a guy like Charlie as an assistant, as an analyst, as an advisor. But Charlie wants to coach. And so Charlie wants to coach. And so this is more than just being an advisor or an analyst. This is an opportunity to be a football coach, and good for Charlie. Charlie's a good football coach and a good man.
Ron Rivera, who was reportedly interviewing here for some kind of a job, it was never really determined. But he is going back to his alma mater, it looks like. He is going to Cal to work in a general manager-esque role to help the program.
I think there's real value. You see Belichick and Lombardi in Chapel Hill, Hayes. I think there's as college football evolves into more of an NFL type model. College football becomes general manager and personnel decisions and really free agency, because that's what the portal is. I think having NFL influence, because those people have had to manage rosters that way, is really smart. I think you'll see more of that. I think you'll see more people who have spent time in the NFL work their way into the college football front offices, so to speak. College football is not supposed to have a front office, but I think it does. And yeah, I'm not surprised by that. And I don't know much about Rivera, very well-respected guy. But I think his NFL expertise can help a college team manage the rosters the way you have to now.
Absolutely. Let's get into college football. It's the second National Signing Day today. So first off, congratulations to all the local athletes that signed letters of intent to go pursue their scholar-athlete careers at the collegiate level. But let's focus on college football. The Gators signed cornerback Onis Konanbani. He had been committed to Tennessee, but a pretty big-time corner. He's either a 3-star or a 4-star, depending on what service you're looking at. But somebody Billy Napier really believes is a very underrated player.
Yeah, you know something, Hayes, we are now in portal season because high school signing season, for the most part, tends to end in December these days. So we forget about the high school signing period. But he's done a good job there. It's not just where you rank in the numbers, but if you compare or kind of log in your mind what they've added over these last few years, they've got a plethora of good athletic players. The receiver position, the defensive back position, the linebacker position. I still like to see him get a few more defensive linemen, but he's done a good job recruiting. Given the fact that he's recruiting the teams that have had losing seasons, Billy Napier, regardless of what he has or hasn't done in the portal, he's done a nice job recruiting high school players.
I think he has too, and the classes have been balanced, which is not what you really didn't have with McElwain and really even Muschamp, because it was so much tilted to the defensive side. And then, with Mullen, it was like he would sign enough guys so that the ranking would look respectable, but it wouldn't make sense. It'd be like 6 safeties.
Yeah, that's right.
That were like of the top 8 players in the class.
Yeah, that's right.
6 would be at one position, and you'd have a total chasm, particularly in the trenches. So I agree with you. Billy Napier did meet with reporters. We're going to get to that, but we'll give you the final recruiting rankings as of 1 p.m. today, according to 24/7 Sports. It looked like this. Texas is number 1, followed by Georgia, Ohio State, Alabama, and Oregon. The Gators are 8th, Miami 13th, Florida State 19th.
And I will tell you, the Gators finishing, and this is for the whole thing. The Gators finishing 8th.
They were left for dead.
Yes. And where were they in the middle of the season?
64.
In the 60s, yeah. I will tell you, Hays, there's real momentum in the program. Now again, you're going to get to some of the other things you talked about, I suppose. If not, we'll do it in the next segment. But there's real legitimate momentum in the program now. And finishing 8th overall, and we're having the 8th best recruiting year in the country, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. And, yeah, there's, again, the schedule's brutal. There's momentum in the program, no question.
Without a doubt, yeah. Napier had a few interesting comments at his press conference, and feel free to add to this if it's not something I bring up. One thing that struck me is he said this was an expensive cycle in this round of the portal season, that the numbers kind of surprised him with how that went. He did have the line about the spring game, Nebraska not holding theirs, and he said, that's a pick your poison.
Right.
I'm either going to upset our fan base if we don't have it, or I'm going to risk people tampering. Florida is having a spring game, and said they're close on a GM hire, and said he elected not to go with hiring an offensive coordinator because this is what got him here.
Yeah, and I got thoughts on all of it. He also said general manager will be more than one person. They're building a department, so there'll be more than one hire. And listen, I never believed he was hiring a coordinator. I did think he'd hire a different defensive coordinator. I thought he'd hire a veteran defensive coordinator, so that surprised me that he went with just a young guy to be a co-guy. And I told you this, I never believed he was going to hire an offensive coordinator. I don't care what the boosters wanted him to do. I don't care what the big money boosters said. I never believed it. I believed he was going to, and I've got mixed feelings on it. I don't think he's a good offensive coordinator. I don't think he's good at it. And I applaud him for so much else he's done well, but I don't think he's a good coordinator. I don't think that's what got him there. I think what got him there was recruiting and building good players, and so I think that was so valuable to hear him say that, and in hearing him say that, know where he stands on all of it. Billy, God bless his soul, thinks he's one of the good coordinators. I don't know if he thinks he's Spurrier or whoever. I don't mean that in a mocking way. I mean that in his opinion, there's nobody in here that can come in here and do this better than me, so I'm going to do it. I don't agree with that. I don't like their offense, but I sure like a lot of the other things he's done, and I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. But I chuckled. I chuckled when I saw the whole, this is what got me here, because I don't think that's what got you there.
Yeah, I would totally agree. Let's get to college basketball. Number 6, Florida defeated Vanderbilt 86-75 in a hard-fought win without star guard Walter Clayton Jr. Will Richard led UF with 21 points. Didn't want to come out of the game. Played 39 minutes, according to Todd Golden, while Alex Condon had 19 points and 9 rebounds. Florida shot 57.4% from the field. The Gators improved to 19-3 overall and 6-3 at the midway point of the SEC slate. They stayed at 5th in the net rankings.
I thought it was a gutsy win. I thought they reached back and found something. Clayton's not playing at all. Martin's hurt in the first half and can't play for a while. Chinyelu, foul trouble is no factor. That's 3 of your starters. You only start 5. That's 3 of your starters that weren't going to be able to help at least until the second half. And I thought they dug deep. I thought Aberdeen was really good. I thought Condon played his best game as a Gator. I've said that. Urban coming off the bench hitting the big threes. That was a big boy win. I that's what I think of that. I thought that was a big boy win for them, and I thought it was a critical win because once you become elite, and they're certainly for this season an elite football team, an elite basketball team. Once you become that, Hayes, the one most important thing to do is win the ones you're supposed to win. Once you become that, you got to win the ones you're supposed to win. I thought that was a way more significant win than some people believe.
Yeah, I agree. Florida State got a win, showing their resolve, beating Notre Dame 67-60 at home after Leonard Hamilton's announcement that this will be his final season coaching the Noles. Jameer Watkins led FSU with 21 points. FSU improved to 14-9 overall and 5-7 in the ACC.
I can see them playing for him. You know, even if it got a little bit stale, and it probably did, 23 years in, there's always a danger of that. I can see them saying, okay, those kids like Coach Ham now. I mean, when that long run of NBA players year after year after year, Jonathan Isaac and all those guys that made that long stretch year after year after year of NBA players, they didn't all become great players, but I will tell you, I think they play for him. I'm not surprised. I would not be surprised at all in a really weakened ACC if FSU went on a little bit of a run because the players will play harder for him where he is now. I really believe that.
Yeah, it'd be a fun story. Kentucky is starting to fade as the 14th ranked Wildcats get shredded at number 25 Ole Miss, 98-84. The Rebels led 54-31 at halftime. Kentucky is now 4-5 in SEC play, losing 4 of its last 5. The Wildcats still have to play Tennessee, at Alabama, Auburn, and at Missouri. Ole Miss, by the way, improved to 6-4 with the win.
You know, Kentucky's struggles have been defense all year long. I think Ole Miss had 1 turnover in the game, which is some sort of a record. I talked to our friend Zach Ricketts today. He's worried. he said, do I have to worry about being a bubble team now? I think I saw a bubble somewhere. Kentucky will get in. But listen, in fairness to Mark Pope now, he rebuilt it. He rebuilt it differently than it had been built before. And so he had to find a way, and Kentucky will be okay. They'll be better in future years than they are this year.
Absolutely, and we will get you out on our musical note of the day. This one's easy. We're at the ballpark today. Soak it up. No birthdays, no anniversaries, no tributes or flashbacks today. We are simply enjoying Americana and John Fogerty's center field on this spectacular day at the magnificent park that we are enjoying here.
You continue to outdo yourself. Perfect choice. Well done. Beautiful night. Beautiful day for baseball. 3 great weather days. And if you love baseball, at a beautiful park with teams that play really well and play the game the right way, coming out and see it at the Bragan Baseball Complex at Ford Family Park. Nice job. Back to wrap the program after this.
The Frangie Show from the Harold and Harold studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
Happy New Year from everyone at Nimnick Chevrolet. Now look, as they begin 2025, Nimnick is so excited to offer even more choices and better prices for you, ensuring your car buying experience is second to none. And if you're wondering where to go for a better buying experience, it's simple. Nobody but Nimnick. So here's to another year of driving forward together. And don't forget now, in this new year means new truck time at Nimnick Chevrolet. This month, you can save up to $12,000 off a new Silverado. Unlike most dealerships, Nimnick Chevrolet has the largest inventory on the ground, ready for you to explore. And with their extensive selection, you're sure to find the perfect truck at Nimnick. Available now, the all-new Silverado EV, designed to go the distance. It boasts 440 miles of range, more standard range than any competitor, and ask about a terrific low rate as well. So who's got more new Silverados at the best prices? Nobody but Nimnick Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
This is Brent Musburger's Visa in Action update on 1010XL. Brought to you by Duck Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic, and Air Conditioning. When you're stuck, call the Duck. Proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
A few of the prop bets for Super Bowl 59 on Sunday in New Orleans. Patrick Mahomes to record 2 or more passing touchdowns is minus 180. Jalen Hurts to throw for over 200 yards in the game is minus 140. Jalen Hurts to score a touchdown, minus 120. He had 3 in their win against Washington in the NFC title game. Patrick Mahomes to record 6 rushing attempts is minus 120. It's even money for Jalen Hurts to go 10-plus rushing attempts in the game. Patrick Mahomes to throw an interception, plus 110. Jalen Hurts to score 2 touchdowns, plus 450. And the Chiefs to record the first sack of the game, minus 130. Earn cash back on your gaming transactions with the GBank Signature Visa Card at vsin.com/GBank. I'm Tony Desiri with your Visa in Action update on 1010XL.
Love is in the air this February, but nothing kills the mood like a plumbing or HVAC problem. Whether it's a leaky pipe, a backed up septic tank, or your heater isn't keeping things cozy, don't worry. We've got you covered. Call Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic, and Air Conditioning. Our expert team is here to keep your home running smooth, no matter the issue. When you're stuck, call the Duck, 904-862-6769, or online at duckduckrooter.com.
It's another exciting local sports day on the First Coast. Listen for 1010XL National Signing Day updates all day. Brought to you by Baker Glass. No one treats you better. On Jacksonville Sports Radio 1010XL.
This is Tony Baselli, Pro Football Hall of Famer. I was known for protecting our quarterback. These days, I'm extending that protection to a different arena, your home. I have partnered with Heritage Roofing of North Florida, your premier local roofers with over 25 years of experience. Heritage is your go-to roofer for hurricane preparation with same-day inspections and estimates. They also work with all insurance companies. Let Heritage Roofing of North Florida safeguard your home and family. Visit heritagenfl.com for your free estimate today.
State license CCC 1335410.
Jimerson Burr is a full-service, Florida-based commercial law firm that has experience and capabilities to handle any legal issue a business is confronted with. Learn more about what they can do for you at jimersonfirm.com.
A lot of companies will tell you they're the best. At Custom Tree Surgeons, they show you every time. Custom Tree Surgeons has built an all-pro team. Every tree service professional has years of experience, continually trained and certified. They know what, when, and how to handle any job. It gets done efficiently and quickly by a team of experts. So for tree trimming, removal, stump grinding, and emergency services, forget any name other than Custom Tree Surgeons. There is no job they can't do better. Go to website CustomTreeSurgeons.com. That's CustomTreeSurgeons.com, and let them show you how the job is supposed to get done.
1010XL celebrates African Americans who positively impacted the First Coast. I'm RJ Saunders, and I'll share Black History Month stories with you throughout February. Black History Month on 1010XL is brought to you by Instant Keys and McGowan Spinal Rehabilitation Center.
You don't have to be a football star to get a signing bonus. The team at Republic Services needs your skills, and they're paying up to $5,000 for you to join the roster. You'll be joining a winner. As an essential business, the Republic Services trucks have not stopped rolling with hourly and weekly pay and better benefits and vacation packages than the rest of the league. Driver trainees, $1,000 sign-on bonus. CDL drivers, $3,000. Diesel mechanics, $5,000 bonus. Join the winning team at Republic Services today. Visit republicservices.com.
Equal opportunity employer.
Hi, I'm Mac with Baker Glass. If you've got fogged up windows, let me help. We'll replace them with clear, insulated units that brighten up your home. People say we're fast, friendly, and reliable. Just check out our Google reviews. Call me today. Baker Glass. No one treats you better.
I'm with Greg from Cycles of Jacksonville. No matter the weather, Triumph has an unbelievable selection of rides where you can get out and just enjoy the highway.
They do. The new Rocket is out with the new color schemes, the Tiger 1200, which has been revamped. These bikes are nice, gorgeous, and ready to ride.
And if you want to take a look at the selection, they can just roll into the showroom and see a full variety.
We've got them all in stock and ready to go.
So if you log on, cyclesofjacksonville.com, search the Triumph line, and then head into the showroom. You'll be impressed. Cycles of Jacksonville.
Hey, it's Matt Hays. Big game this Sunday, which means parties, libations, and food. The exact scenario Awaken 180 was built for. Why? Because you eat to lose weight. Do it once, enjoy the process, then receive free support for life. Awaken180weightloss.com.
The Golf Club of Southampton has plenty going on, from a great round to a round with your buds, soaking up some football and great grub. Every Saturday and Sunday at Southampton, enjoy their game day special. Wings tossed in your favorite sauce and a cold pitcher of beer. Membership opportunities to take advantage of, too. Join Southampton with a paid initiation, and you'll get a $500 gift card. Perfect for golf, pro shop purchases, or the clubhouse. Check it out. It's all happening at the Golf Club of Southampton.
This is Hays Carlyon for First Florida Credit Union. I bank with First Florida Credit Union because I trust them. I can always count on them when it comes to the vast services they provide. First Florida Credit Union was voted Best Credit Union in the 2024 Best of Bold City Community Choice Awards, and it's easy to see why. I go to the branch off 210 in St. Johns County and the new Durbin location, but they have 10 branches in the Jacksonville area. You need to be banking with First Florida Credit Union. They're enriching people every day. Federally insured by NCUA, Equal Housing Opportunity Lender.
1010XL is presented by Farrah & Farrah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Now, the Cool Down with Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing. Keeping Jack's cool since 1987.
All right, where we've been in the program today? Well, first of all, we've been live at the Bragan Baseball Complex. Paxton beat Beachside 7-1 in Game 5 of this event. Tonight is Game 6, Bartram Trail versus Providence. That's two really good programs. Bartram Trail, Providence get together tonight. That's a 7 o'clock game, and that'll complete sort of the first round of games here. The losers bracket games tomorrow and Friday, and then 4 championship games will be played on Saturday. 10, 1, 4, and 7. So baseball all day long, and we've been out here talking all about it. So we're glad to be out here. Our one trip out to the Walk-Off Charities High School Baseball Classic. Brent Hastings came by, talked a little bit about the poaching of players in college, and is there any legalities? What's got us talking about that was Matt Rule deciding he was going to not play a spring game because he was going to protect. And that way nobody will ever know who's on his team. So we talked about that, and Brett talked about the possible legalities, where it's all going. Will there ever be any rules in place? So it was a good conversation we had with him. Lee Smith, who does such a fantastic job, the executive director of the Players Championship, is about as good a golf analyst as I've ever been around, and certainly understands the world of golf. So he started his run with us today. We'll keep him here all through spring and summer. He does a wonderful job.
Hard to believe. 5 weeks from today.
5 weeks from tomorrow is
the Players.
That's right. 5 weeks from tomorrow is the first round. Boy, that sneaks up on you, doesn't it?
It really does.
It just seems like football season just ended. We're about to talk goal. I will tell you this.
It's hard to believe I'm 5 weeks away from today from making a terrible prediction.
Yeah, and by the way, I was going to tell you and JJ, you guys, we are going to re-up Loser Monday this year.
Oh, okay.
We're going to do. I thought about this. We're going to do about 8 events.
Okay.
We'll do the Players and the 4 majors. That's 5.
Okay.
Okay, so 5 golf events. We are going to do the first round of the NCAA tournament.
Okay.
We are going to do our NBA because we're NBA experts. Right. So we're going to do our NBA scoring in the finals, which is always just a lot of fun.
That's fun, yeah.
And so JJ, who'd you have last year that was hurt?
Kristaps Porzingis.
That's what it was. Yeah, Porzingis.
I'll never forgive him for that.
And the year before, you had Tyler Hero. You see,
yeah, he's still dead.
Yeah, I would like you guys to continue to pick hurt players.
Yeah,
okay?
that was a bold strategy.
So I appreciate it, but we're definitely gonna do that. We're gonna have about 8 events, and we'll wrap it up probably before football.
Okay.
And so we're gonna Loser Monday. We'll come back. Okay.
That's awesome.
Someone's going to Bono's, so that's what we're gonna do. So it'll be a lot of fun. So as our Loser Monday returns this year after a bit of like a half-year hiatus, so that comes up in just a bit. So, but hey, look, we love being out here. Do remind you, by the way, we'll be back at North Florida, UNF tomorrow night for UNF basketball. Looking forward to getting it. We haven't been out there yet.
Mm-hmm.
Had 2 terrific trips to JU, but now we get to go out to UNF and see Matthew Driscoll, our friend Nick Morrow, and all the good folks at UNF. We love getting out there as well. So that'll be tomorrow night. So back-to-back remotes, and we love getting out.
And you guys have baseball here the next how many days?
We will have baseball. Thank you for asking. We have the tournament here. The 16-team tournament wraps up on Saturday night. Starting Monday, there will be a high school baseball game here till the end of the high school baseball season.
Wow.
61 games.
That's incredible.
We are going to have 61 games here, so there'll be some, like during spring break, there'll be 2 or 3 on the same day.
So anytime you want to come to this park at night, there's probably going to be a game
and
going
a
on.
really good, if you want to support high school baseball, support us at Walk-Off a little bit, or just come watch really good baseball. This ballpark, every weeknight, we're not doing it on weekends, but every weeknight there will be a high school baseball game. And let me say this, too. So many of the teams here in town will donate games. These are home games where they could make the money. They could make the gate and the concessions at their park, but they said, no, that's our way of helping Walk-Off Charities. Let us help Walk-Off Charities. That's really good. It's really kind of them. And so almost every baseball program in town donates a game. Now, we will have all the Christ Church Academy they are rebuilding their fields. So we'll be the place for their home games. And there's a couple other teams that'll play a number of games out here for that reason. But basically, just about everybody in town donates a game, and it's really nice. It's really kind. And the baseball, I've told you this before, and I've said it on the air many times, Hays, the baseball community is a close group. It's a close-knit group. They care about their sport. You know, every sport, I found this out too, and I get it. Every sport other than football feels like they don't get enough attention. And I get that. It's a football world we're in. It's certainly a football area we're in. Mm-hmm. And so all the sports, whether I could be talking basketball or lacrosse or soccer or any they bond together. And baseball community is certainly one of the ones that do that. So yeah, I appreciate you asking. And every night, high school baseball every night. And by the way, next week we also have the Walk-Off Charities Softball Classic. 16 more teams. So we'll be playing both of our small fields. That's all next week too. So baseball, softball galore at this ballpark for a while. And without last thing I'll say, because I've gone on too long already. But when the high school season ends, May there's not much that goes on. And then for all of June and July, the CCBL, the Collegiate Baseball League, will be out here every night. So we built the park to raise money to help kids in the inner city. And every time you walk out here and pay $8 to watch a high school game, you're putting a glove on the hand of a kid in the inner city that ordinarily would not have had a glove.
That's really cool.
That's the thesis statement. Every time you come out here and you pop that in that Go fan, you pop that $8 in there to watch a high school baseball game. Some kid in the inner city gets a baseball glove that he or she ordinarily would not have had. That's the bottom line. Let's say hello to Hacker.
Now, the 2-minute drill. Serviced by Cool Cats Heating and Cooling. Locally owned and operated. We're your neighbors. Find the coolest cats in town at coolcatsjacks.com.
No Rick Ballou tonight, so Hacker Nation steps up. Hack, how are you, buddy?
Frank, I'm good, man. How are you?
We are great. We're out here at the ballpark watching a little bit of baseball. Hey, let me ask you, you and I haven't had a chance to talk. What do you think about the Jaguar, the state of the union with the Jags now with Liam Cohen in place, with the defensive coordinator in place, Tony Baselli in place? What's your take on where they are?
Yeah, this is one of the things I'm going to talk about tonight. It's been a very interesting month, right? 1 month ago today, the Jaguars lost to the Indianapolis Colts in Week 18. Doug Peterson was fired, some 12 or so hours later. Trent Baalke a couple of weeks later, and now here we are. I like it. Liam Cohen was one of the guys I wanted. I didn't care if it was he, Aaron Glenn, or Ben Johnson. I would have been happy with any of the three, so I'm very happy that Liam Cohen's here. Learning about Anthony Campanile, the defensive coordinator, I'm liking that hire more than more. And then I'm just over the moon about Tony Baselli, kind of Mr. Jaguar, if you will. What he could do for that organization. And again, Tony doesn't have to do this by any means. He wants to do this, which I think is a great thing. So, yeah, for what I've seen in the last month, man, I couldn't be much happier than I am right now.
Right with you. Ditto everything you said. I can't wait to see where it leads, and I agree with you on Tony. It's his passion, and I think he's going to crush it. I really do. What's coming up tonight on the show?
Yeah, a lot of Jaguar talk. Obviously, Leon Searcy's going to join me in about 20 minutes. We'll talk about his former teammate, Tony Baselli, becoming the EVP of football operations. We'll talk about 1 month. Let's just look back at everything that has transpired in the last month, from that loss in Indianapolis in Week 18 to where we are now. We'll also get some college football talk, a little NBA talk as well, as the trade deadline is tomorrow. There's a lot to do. We're with you till 8 o'clock, and we're happy to be here.
I'll be listening, Hack. Thanks, buddy. We appreciate it.
Thanks, guys.
All right. Hacker Nation comes up. Hacker After Dark comes up as soon as we are out of here. Don't go anywhere. Good radio coming up. Hey, thanks for coming all the way out here. We appreciate that.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Thanks for listening to our show from the Bragan Baseball Complex. Tomorrow, live from UNF Hoops tomorrow night. We're out of here. For Hays and JJ, I'm Frank Frangie. So long.